then I figured it out. What I did was, when I got all that money, was broke all my dreams. Because you walk around and you dream of, I dream of having that Ferrari. I dream of having something like that. I dream of having a house like that. And then when you get to the ability where you got all that, it's like you walk down the sidewalk and you see something in a window, regardless, you just walked in and bought it and had it delivered, and then, you know, you didn't think about it. You just bought whatever you saw you felt you had to have because you had the money to do it, and it didn't matter. So what it did was take away a lot of dreams of people, you know, because all of a sudden everything you ever dreamed of having you got. Well, then you get bored, and then after you make so much money with that game, it wasn't the money anymore because you had a closet full of it. It didn't make any sense anymore, the money part of it. So it became more of a game on the thrill, on the adrenaline rush of just doing it and getting away with it and making it work. And so, you know, it became a little more complex once you got a pocket full of money because you were thinking bigger, you were thinking more boats, more planes, blah, blah, blah. You know, and it was just endless. I mean, it went from a few ounces to a few tons in a few years. So it was crazy how that worked. I mean, when I lived in St. Petersburg, I had a little cigarette hole design boat, and I'd run up to the docks in Tampa, and I'd go to the dog track or the pony track, and then I'd go to the highlight track. And every Wednesday or whatever night it was, I'd go up there and I'd rotate. Like every third week I'd go, because I'd go to all three places and bet, but I'd stop at one place and sit down, you know what I mean, and watch the ponies. And the next month or next week I'd go up and watch the dogs, and the next week I'd go watch highlight. But I'd do the circuit when I got off the boat, and I'd run around in a cab and do all my bets at all these places. I was betting at everything. I mean, you know, so
how well did you do on the horse and the dog racing and all that stuff?
The best I ever did on the horses was I was up to the window, I was going to bet on a horse, right? And this old little short Cuban guy laid $40,000 down on the counter on a horse. And he had a little like linen hat and a linen suit and, you know, nice cigars in his pocket. And I mean, he was a real Cuban guy. I said, 40 grand on a horse that I just overlooked. And I looked at the fucking odds. I said, well, he must know something. So I bet every penny I had on that same horse. Yep, and lost every penny I had. So I said, well, that didn't work so good. So I'll be damned if it wasn't like 3 or 4 weeks later doing the same thing, and these people were pulling every penny they had out of their pockets to bet on this fucking horse. I mean, they were taking dollar bills out. They were just every penny they had in their pockets. There was like 3 of them there at the window doing this money deal. I'm going, what the fuck? So I bet like, I don't know, $6,000 probably. I forget exactly, but I made a good pocket that night. 33,000 or something I walked out of there with. Because I bet on the horse that they were betting on. Just like I did with the Cuban and lost my shirt. But these folks maybe got me some money back. So as far as big winning, no, I went to all the casinos up and around everywhere, so I got rated at the casinos where you could walk in and the photo recognition system, the concierge would come, oh, hey, Mr. Rigg, glad you're aboard, we got your suite ready, just step over to the VIP desk, and you go over there, they'd give you a couple $100 chips and, you know, cookies to take upstairs, and your bags would be on the way, and that's how that went. So it was kind of fun to be rated and, you know, go to these places. And I mean, you could show up on July 4th when all the places are booked, and they'd have a room for you. So it was like, all right, cool. So I gambled a lot, but I liked it because, you know, it was drug money, easy money, and if you didn't win, well, so what? And, you know, but in Vegas, I went out there one time. I had $37,000 in my pocket. And I got off the plane, and I went to the Golden Nugget downtown because I kind of like the older casinos and the new shit. So I went down there to the old section and got a room at the Golden Nugget, and I stayed there for almost 33 days at their expense. Everything, the rooms, everything. I even bought a car while I was out there on the Golden Nugget money. And when I left, I had $37,000 in my pocket and went to Northern Cal. I had the same amount of money when I went, and I stayed there for a whole month. I was being stupid there, bro. I was spending all kinds of money. I bought that DB8 Austin Martin. Yeah, that was fucking pretty expensive. Nice little car. Bought that, brand new. Got to drive it up and down the strip a few times, and ended up selling it because I gambled it away and needed it. You know, I needed the money out of it. So, but I stayed there and just kept gambling and just stayed for a whole month without spending a dime of my money and lived the highlight of Las Vegas. Yep, I had everything anybody that ever does in Las Vegas. So I spent some money there.
Wow.
It was a lot of fun. And that Austin, that DB8, had like an emerald green paint and the prettiest leather interior you've ever seen in your life. It was just the prettiest color of leather that you've ever seen to go with that color green. It was just beautiful. The car was just really fast too. That DB8's pretty nice, pretty fast little car.